Have you ever noticed how a single moment can make you feel like your entire life just collapsed? A missed promotion, a job you didn't get, a peer who's suddenly ahead of you, someone younger doing what you thought you'd be doing by now. And suddenly, you're convinced you're not good enough to be anything at all. There's something deeply strange about this. We're told that success is linear, that achievements reveal potential, that winning means beating everyone else to the finish line. But here's what nobody tells you. The race you're running? It doesn't actually exist. You know the feeling. You're in a meeting, and you don't have the answer. A colleague gets chosen for the project you wanted. You watch others collaborate on solutions, already knowing they won't ask for your input. You scroll through LinkedIn and see someone your age who's already a director, a partner, a founder. And the worst part? You've started measuring yourself by these comparisons. You've already decided who's successful and who's not, based on titles and salaries and achievements you can see. Senior associate, partner, director, VP, C-suite, 6 figures, 7 figures, startup founder, published author. These words float around you constantly, like ghosts demanding attention. You need to network more, build your personal brand, pivot your career, get that promotion, make your next move. The words blur together into a single, overwhelming pressure that sits on your chest, making it hard to breathe. Whether you're a student staring at grades, an intern watching full-timers, a junior professional seeing peers get promoted, or a mid-career worker wondering why everyone else seems to have it figured out, life seems to be going incredibly fast, and it's leaving you no space for empathy as you struggle to keep up. You're clawing at opportunities, scraping for achievements that others seem to reach so easily. You constantly shame yourself, hanging your head in sorrow as you allow a title, a salary, a position to define you, to come first, to win, to climb faster. Why do we consider these things so essential to human life? Why do we correlate success with truly living? Here's the truth. Wherever you are right now, whether you're 16 or 26 or 45, your head is probably filled with commotion and chaos. It feels like there's no room to breathe, no space to simply live. The conversations about your future, your next move, your 5-year plan constantly disrupt the peace of your mind. And the worst part? It's extremely disheartening seeing clarity in others that you cannot find in yourself. How can someone have so many opportunities but feel passionate about nothing at all? How do you navigate your way through life when you don't have any spark? When everyone else seems to have found their calling and you're still searching? These aren't small questions. These are the thoughts that keep you up at night, the fears that make you wonder if something is fundamentally wrong with you. Picture this. You're sitting on your couch late at night, scrolling through social media, watching everyone else's highlight reel. A former classmate just made partner at 32. A college friend just launched their 3rd company. Someone you used to work with is now your boss's boss. And you're trying to understand why you're not good enough to be where they are. That comparison, that single moment of measuring yourself against someone else's timeline, has made you conceptualize your whole future of inadequacy. It sounds bizarre when you say it out loud, doesn't it? How someone else's success made you reduce yourself to something so small, in the face of dreams so big. But here's what's really happening beneath the surface. Maybe you're fresh out of university, watching people who graduated with you land dream jobs while you're still sending applications into the void. Maybe you're 3 years into your career, watching peers get promoted while you're still in the same role. Maybe you're 35 and wondering why you don't have the passion everyone told you you'd find by now. Maybe you're 50 and feeling like you missed the window for reinvention. Whatever your situation, you've consistently felt that you were somehow less than. Not strategic enough for consulting. Not creative enough for that agency role. Not technical enough for tech. Not experienced enough for leadership. Somebody with a skill set too small to dream of something too vast. And the environment around you has reinforced this belief with subtle but significant actions. Colleagues who collaborate with others, but not you. Meetings where your ideas are overlooked until someone else says the same thing. LinkedIn posts celebrating everyone's wins while you're still struggling. Job descriptions asking for 5 years of experience for entry-level roles, 10 years for mid-level, asking you to be an expert in everything. And this is where it gets complex. You subconsciously do the same to others. You're making judgments about how successful people are based on titles and salaries and company names, just like they might be doing to you. We treat each other like competitors in a zero-sum game, scrambling for the promotions, the raises, the recognition, the validation that we're doing it right. We knock each other down to climb up, like at a ladder with limited rungs instead of an open field where everyone can walk their own path. But here's the thing. In those rare moments where you stop and actually think about it, you start to wonder why you feel that in order to live a good life, you must outcompete one another. Why does your value, your quality as a human being, and the extent to which others should listen to you depend on how successful you are? Why does it feel like everyone has their thing, their clear trajectory, while you're struggling to even know what you want? The psychology behind this runs deeper than you might think. From the moment you entered the education system, you were placed on a conveyor belt designed to sort, rank, and categorize. Your worth became quantifiable. Your potential became predictable. Your future became a formula where higher numbers equal better outcomes. If this resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe to stay connected. This is a place where your mind never needs an apology. And that system didn't end when you left school. It evolved. Now it's promotions instead of grades, salaries instead of test scores, job titles instead of class rankings. But the fundamental message remained the same. You are in competition with everyone around you, and your value is determined by where you place. This system doesn't just measure you. It teaches you to measure everyone else. It trains you to see people as competitors rather than companions. It rewires your brain to constantly compare, constantly evaluate, constantly judge who's ahead and who's behind. And the cruelest part? It makes you believe that this is how life actually works. That the real world operates like a giant meritocracy where everyone is graded and sorted and assigned their place based purely on talent and effort. But the truth is, that's not reality. That's just the story we've been told so many times that we forgot it was a story. These thoughts have plagued your head more times than you can imagine. The self-doubt when you see a peer's promotion announcement. The comparison when you hear about someone's salary. The fear that you're falling behind in a race everyone else seems to be winning. The shame when you're 28, 35, 42, or 50 and still haven't made it by whatever definition you're using. But here's what's fascinating. You can come to a resolution on how you win the race. You don't. There is no race. Let me tell you about a conversation that changes everything. You're talking with a colleague about career progression, and you look at them in disbelief when they confess they wish they had your skills, your opportunities, your clarity. You think, me? I'm barely keeping up compared to others. And then you notice it. Those 3 words, compared to others. We spend so much of our time worrying about what other people are doing. We don't even take initiative in our own lives. You don't stare at the passenger when you're driving a car. You watch the road ahead. You need to take control of your own life and formulate a messy, ever-changing, and potentially disorganized path. And this is where it gets interesting. You need to recognize that that is okay. Your path is yours and nobody else's. They could have the corner office at 30, but maybe you value work-life balance. They might be passionate about climbing the corporate ladder, and you may not be. And that doesn't make you less ambitious. It makes you different. There's a common phrase that goes around in these types of conversations. Jack of all trades, master of none. This quote is used to push the narrative that having broad knowledge, but specializing or mastering nothing is somehow shallow, somehow insufficient, somehow career suicide. But here's what they don't tell you. The full quote actually reads, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but often better than a master of one." Let that sink in for a moment. Having interest in many things is a beautiful thing. You're so full of curiosity and experience that you're drawn to so many different aspects of work and life. And that's not a weakness. That's not something to apologize for in interviews. That's not something that needs to be fixed or narrowed down or made more focused. You will never, ever have it fully figured out. And maybe that's the real revelation here. There's a concept in Buddhism called anatta, and it explores the idea that humans have no fixed self. Our identities are impermanent and ever-changing. You at 22, you at 35, and you at 55 are all 3 different people. Different priorities. Different definitions of success. Different versions of the same consciousness moving through time. Your 22-year-old self wanted to change the world. Your 35-year-old self might want stability and time with family. Your 55-year-old self might want to give back and mentor. None of these versions are wrong. None of these versions are failures. They're just different chapters of the same story. Life isn't short. It's long and versatile. So why worry about not having found your passion at 25? Why panic about not being a VP by 35? Why feel like you failed if you haven't made it by 45? You'll never have it completely sorted out. Not at 30. Not at 50. Not ever. We best understand what we want and what path we would like to take when we stop being so overly critical about our journeys. When we give ourselves permission to be complex, contradictory, curious people who don't fit neatly into boxes labeled corporate or entrepreneur or creative. Take your diverse interests with pride. Explore different industries. Allow yourself to pivot. Let yourself enjoy the many different aspects that make careers meaningful. The world doesn't need more people following the exact same playbook. It needs more fully alive human beings who bring curiosity and authenticity to whatever they touch. Here's what nobody tells you when you're drowning in career pressure or academic stress or the weight of expectations. There is no race. We are all people with dreams, hopes, aspirations, and desires, all walking individual paths in life, trying our best. The colleague who just got promoted, they're also struggling with something. The peer who seems to have their whole career mapped out, they're also terrified they made the wrong choice. The LinkedIn connection who appears wildly successful, they're also having moments of doubt and confusion. They're just not posting about those. Everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Everyone is pretending they have it more figured out than they actually do. Everyone is scared that they're not enough, that they're behind, that they missed their chance. But the truth is, enough is a moving target invented by a system that profits from your insecurity. You were always enough. You are enough right now. You will be enough tomorrow. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Maybe the point isn't to find your one true calling at 22 and devote your entire life to it. Maybe the point isn't to beat everyone else to some imaginary finish line of partner, director, or CEO. Maybe the point isn't to transform yourself into someone you're not in order to meet someone else's definition of success. Maybe the point is simply this: to show up, to try, to be gentle with yourself when you fall short of impossible standards, to recognize that your worth is not determined by your job title or your salary or your position on some invisible ladder. Whether you're a student facing exams, a graduate facing applications, a junior professional facing their first real challenges, a mid-career worker facing a plateau, or someone later in life facing reinvention, the truth remains the same. If you succeed, it'll be because of your own ability and effort. Otherwise, it's okay if things don't work out the way you planned. Because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the process. It's how you learn. It's how you grow. It's how you become whoever you're meant to become. So here's what I want you to remember the next time you're scrolling through LinkedIn at 2 a.m., convinced that you're not good enough, that you're falling behind, that everyone else has it figured out. You are not your job title. You are not your salary. You are not your productivity or your achievements or your carefully curated professional brand. You are a complex, beautiful, ever-evolving human being with intrinsic worth that exists independent of any accomplishment. The race you think you're losing? It doesn't exist. The competition you think you're failing? It was never real. The timeline you think you're behind on? It was made up by people who don't know your story. Your path is yours. It can be messy. It can be disorganized. It can change direction 100 times. It can look nothing like what you imagined at 18 or 25 or 35. It can lead you to places you never expected. And all of that is not just okay. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. You are not falling behind. You are not too late. You are not insufficient. You are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, becoming exactly who you're meant to become. Whether you're 19 or 29 or 49, whether you're just starting out or pivoting mid-career or reinventing yourself entirely, your journey is valid. Your timeline is valid. Your path is valid. There is no race. There never was. There's only you and your road, and the courage to walk it at your own pace, in your own way, with compassion for yourself every step of the journey. And that's not just enough. That's everything. If this spoke to you, help it find those who need it. Leave one honest word in the comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe and stay close. Here, your depth is welcome.